Okay, that's difficult. That's not very practical either. What I wanted to say is that the 64 items, the important thing is last 5 are repeated. There are only 59 unique items. Last 5 are repeated. So these 5 are the most important. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, out of the 64, these 5 are very, very important. Even a little of one of them will awaken bhakti, guaranteed. Alpa Sangha, even a little of one of those 5 will guarantee awaken our bhakti. So, what are those 5?
Mathura was.
One by one. Just lift your hand up. Lift your hand, I will call out. Reading Bhagavatam, hearing Bhagavatam. Reading or hearing Bhagavatam. Words. Chanting the holy names. 2. Third one? Mathura Vasa. As I clarified for one or two groups, I tell everybody, Mathura Vasa means living in a holy place. You can make your home a temple, and thereby you can actually follow this principle. Make your home a temple. And then, if you are living in a city where there is a temple, you must visit the temple and render service in the temple whenever you can. It's also Mathura Vasa. Then 4th one.
Association of devotees.
Sat Sangha, Sadhu Sangha, associating with devotees. Means in their association, engaging in devotion service. 5th one.
Chanting.
Offering water to those who
Deity worship. Deity worship with faith and devotion. Worship should not be ritualistic. Like there are people who make a show of deity worship. They say we do ठाकुर का पूजा करते हैं हर दिन. हमारे घर में रोज ठाकुर का पूजा चलता है. But rich people, what they do, Prabhupada says, they engage one pujari, pay him some money, he comes and he does the puja and he goes away. So the family members are busy with their material activities. They only know some puja is going on. So some blessings are there. This is not deity worship according to what we was telling. The family members must participate in the deity worship. One member of the family should do the worship. The other members of the family should participate. At least come once a day and have darshan. If there is worship at home, all the family members must come at least once a day and have darshan. Have some chanamrita, have some prasadam, what is offered to the deity. You understand the difference between Mahaprasadam and Prasadam? Does everybody know? Mahaprasadam means from a portion of the food that is cooked, that is offered to the deity, a small portion is offered to the deity. What is offered to the deity? The deity's plate, the food is called, after offering, Mahaprasadam. And what is left over in the vessel that was cooked, that is called Prasadam. So this Mahaprasadam is specially shared among all the family members in small quantity. So little Mahaprasadam, you make a habit of taking little Mahaprasadam and Prasadam, of course, whatever is cooked and offered, the remaining balance Prasadam. So this Mahaprasadam you should accept every day. Accept Mahaprasadam. So I say that make a habit of offering, let's say, water every day. That water has to be kept, and little you accept this, like you accept Chanamrita. Accept that water every day.
In our temple, we mix Mahaprasadam in the main prasadam.
Even at home, devotees mix the offering into the main portion. So how is that recommended or?
That is okay if all the members of the family are anyway participating in Krishna consciousness, it's okay. What I'm saying is, I give example of a rich person's house where they employ pujari. For that case, I'm telling, in case all the members of the family are not exactly interested in Krishna consciousness, then it's important that the ones who are not interested, to get them involved, at least you say, take some people, take some prashadam. Their concept of prashadam is little. Right? People who are not in Krishna consciousness, what is their understanding of prashadam? Little. So that little better in the Mahaprasad. That's all. If all the members of the family are Krishna conscious, there is no issue at all. Anyway, they are doing everything. They are chanting, they are offering obeisances, they are participating in hearing Bhagavatam or reading Prabhupada's books. That's okay. So I told this specifically for the sake of, if all the members of the household are not devotees, are not participating in Krishna consciousness, then this applies. Otherwise, it's not applicable. Let me wind up what I started. So these 5 items are repeated. So essentially there are unique 59 items only. Not 64, 59. But Rupa Goswami says 64 items. Stressing on these 5 items, you must do this, even if you can't do the others. So 5 minimum. When somebody is serious about Krishna consciousness, 5 minimum. And these 5 are repeated. They appear as 10 items in the list. 5 items appear as 10 because they're repeated. 5 are repeated. So these 5 are kind of most essential, or you can say compulsory. Everybody has to do this. Anybody interested in Krishna consciousness. The other 54 are items that you add and keep adding after starting at the basic level. You keep adding the other 54 items. So that way you also have a plan that you're going to increase your Krishna conscious activities. Of course, most of these are centered around the deity. Most of these are centered around the deity. So deity we also use to mean a picture of the deity of the temple that's kept in your home. That's also to be understood as deity only. Not that deity means physical deity. Because if somebody is deity at home, to take care of the deity, a lot of rules and regulations have to be followed. So if you're having a temple in your city or in your vicinity, better don't keep deity at home. Better not to have deities. Because then your focus will be deity in the temple, and at home you have a picture of that deity, and whatever offering you have to do, whatever arati you have to do at home, and you can't visit the temple, you do with the picture. Otherwise, if you get busy with your deity, you can't do service for the temple deity, which is more important than your house deity. So Prabhupada said, if there is a temple in your neighborhood, in your vicinity, which you visit, you focus on service in the temple, service to the temple deity. And when you can't visit a temple, you do at home what you do in the temple, like arati or offering or whatever. You do it to a picture of the temple deity. Is it okay? Okay, questions? What's time do we have?
We have about 30 minutes.
13 minutes. Questions? What do you do now? Question answer.
Close it better than question answer.
Question answer. Give them Mahaprasadam, that's the only hope there.
When you're offering prasadam to them, they should be in a position to honor the prasadam. I mean, honor the prasadam in the same mind that they're accepting prasadam. Won't that have to matter?
Okay, if they are not inclined to Krishna consciousness, then intelligently you mix the Mahaprasadam and the prasadam and say, take your food. You have to be intelligent. Always administering Krishna consciousness to non-devotees, you have to use your intelligence. whatever I say here, it's not absolute. You have to use your intelligence and then apply these principles, what we discuss. I give some examples, that's all. These examples are not applicable in all cases, in every situation, no. You have to see the situation in your case and then try to apply using intelligence. If you want, you can discuss with the temple devotees how to actually apply the principles. So yes, you're right, if they're not inclined, then you better mix the Mahaprasadam with the Prasadam and just give them. You can even say, this is your food, you can take it. So even if they unknowingly eat Prasadam, they get the full benefit. They get the full benefit. But if you can help them avoid criticizing, that will be good. They don't come in offense. Any other question?
I have one. Why is worshipping Tulsi Plant so significant that it's one of the top 5 items? Worshipping Tulsi plant, or it's one of the, as I understood, it's one. Okay, in general, like watering Tulsi plant, why is it considered so significant? What is the significance?
Why watering Tulsi plant is significant? Because worshipping Tulsi is called Tadiya Seva. Tadiya Seva means worship of the Lord's most important associates. So Tulsi is very, very dear to Krishna. Tulsi Krishna Prayasi. Very, very dear to Krishna. So by worshipping Tulsi, we are able to please Krishna very easily. And just by circumambulating Tulsi plant 3 times, you are able to destroy all sinful reactions completely, which might have been committed in millions of lifetimes. So powerful Tulsi is. Simply by seeing Tulsi, simply by touching Tulsi, simply by bowing down to Tulsi, simply by watering Tulsi, simply by thinking of Tulsi, you can get immense amount of spiritual benefit. That's the power of Tulsi.
You say just by circumambulating Tulsi 3 times, will you free from the reactions from millions?
Millions of sinful activities.
So we do this every day. So what we should understand, we are free from all the reactions.
Anybody begins devotional service, did you hear his question?
Yeah. So as Maharaj said, that just by circumambulating the Tulsi 3 times, we get free from reactions of our sinful activities from millions of lifetimes. So this is the activity that all of us do every day. So what is the understanding that are we free from all the sinful reactions?
Moment we take to devotional service, we become free from all sinful reactions. Actually, for a devotee of Krishna, becoming free from sinful reactions is not at all any big thing, not a big deal. It is the sinful tendency that we have to get rid of. That is the difficulty. You understand the difference between sin and sinful tendency? Sinful tendency is, it's just like Prabhupada gives this example that some Christians, they go to the church on a Saturday and then they confess whatever sins they have done, and then they are pardoned for all the sins they committed, and they come back and next week again start committing sins. Again the following week they go on a Saturday, end of the week, again they confess, again they are pardoned. So this is not the spirit of becoming free from sinful reactions. It's not this right spirit. In fact, those who are chanting Hare Krishna The seventh offense is exactly this, that on the strength of chanting Hare Krishna, one keeps on committing sinful activities, thinking that if I do any sin, I can become free from reactions, I don't have to suffer any punishment because I am chanting Hare Krishna. No, it doesn't work like that. If knowingly or deliberately somebody is sinning and also chanting Hare Krishna, then Hare Krishna mantra is not going to free you from the sinful reactions. It's not automatic, it is not mechanical, it is not some kind of deal you are making. No. Hare Krishna Mahamantra is Krishna himself. So Krishna has to pardon you if you chant Hare Krishna. Krishna is a person. Krishna is not a machine. Krishna is a person. So Krishna as a person wants to see if you are ready for accepting spiritual life and ready for completely stopping all sinful activities. At least you are prepared to do so. If you are not prepared to stop sinful activities, then there is no question of becoming free from sinful reactions. It will continue. Because anyway people keep on sinning. In this material world, the way the world is designed, every step we are committing sinful activities. Unknowingly, by breathing, we are inhaling so many microbes and they all die and we are responsible for killing them, even though it's not our intent. It's not our intention, we didn't do it. We can't avoid it, we can't avoid breathing. So when we breathe, we kill so many microbes, germs. So the laws of nature state that yes, any sin committed knowingly or unknowingly, small or big, we have to suffer the reactions. So therefore, the only way we can become free from all sinful reactions is by first of all agreeing or deciding or preparing to stop further any sinful activities. So if you say, now onwards, I'm not going to commit any more sinful activities, then next step is, what about my past sinful reactions? Krishna says, that I will take care, don't worry. 18.66, what does he say? Aham tvam sarva papebhyo bhavishashya. So, in the past, whatever is done, don't worry about it. Ma shuchaha, don't worry. I'll free you. So, now onwards, no more sinful activity. But then, as I said, how do we stop sinning in terms of not killing any ants accidentally while walking on the road, while doing some cooking? So many small insects may be there which we while heating water, so many insects or so many microbes are there, they're all killed. So we are responsible for that. We cannot say, I can't help it. We can't say that. So therefore, Krishna takes charge of freeing you from all sinful reactions. Those which we commit inadvertently, which we can't avoid, because we are engaged in devotional service, Krishna says, I take charge. So that which happens without our wanting to do it, without our wanting to do any sin, that Krishna takes charge. Then consciously you should not do any sin. And the 4 pillars of sinful life in Kali Yuga are meat eating, intoxication, gambling, illicit sex. These 4 certainly we must completely avoid. So devotional life begins when one realizes the importance of avoiding sin and particularly is conscious avoiding these 4 sinful activities. But is it enough to just avoid these 4? No, that's not enough. That's just the beginning. That we are making sure we definitely avoid. And then the other activities we do, they have to be spiritualized, and that way the other activities will become also free from sinful reactions. All other activities. If you spiritualize your activity, no sinful reaction. So, free from karma, we will become free from karma. Now, sinful reaction is one aspect of reaction. There are reactions to pious activities. Just like you help somebody with a good heart, you're going to get a good reaction, a pious reaction. This pious reaction also is binding us in this world. So that also we should not, we do not want that. In the Bhagavad Gita, in the 2nd chapter, time? 1 minute, last point. Bhagavad Gita in the 2nd chapter, Krishna says, Buddhi Yoga. Buddhi Yukta Jahat Iha Ube Sukrita Dushkrute. Krishna says, by practicing Buddhi Yoga, which is same as Bhakti Yoga, you have to give up both Sukruti and Dushkruti, pious activities and sinful activities. So why give up pious activities? Because they are also binding us. So giving up pious activities means no karma kanda activities. No activities meant for enjoying material results. So we don't want to enjoy material results. We don't want to suffer punishment due to sinful activities. Both we have to give up. So we have to spiritualize our activities. We have to do devotional service. Devotional service does not have any reactions. No good reactions, no bad reactions. Only spiritual credit, which is spiritual advancement. You're progressing towards going back to Godhead. So that is what we should aim at. We should aim at performing only devotional service. Which means essentially what we discussed, all 64 activities are different ways of spiritualizing all your activities throughout the day, throughout your life, whatever you do using your body or words or mind, whether it is in your home or in workplace or in social activities, wherever you just keep doing devotional service. All activities as offering to Krishna in Krishna consciousness. Ultimately, it is the consciousness with which you do your activity that determines whether the activity itself is devotional service or a material activity. So if you do everything with a clean heart, with pure consciousness, then that is devotional service. Then you don't worry about what the activity is. But before you purify your heart completely, you have to follow the guidelines, the 64 guidelines. You must include more and more. As I said, begin with 5 most essential, and then try to include the remaining 54. You have to keep on adding, and that way, when you come to the stage when all 64 are included in your daily routine, all your activities would have become by then spiritualized. Thank you.
Thank you, Maharaj, for that really enlightening talk. And we've all been energized with the module 2. We have a break for lunch now. So 12:30 to 2, we have a break. Gives you some time to take care of the kids and all that. 2 sharp, we'll meet again over here. And this time we'll actually write down anybody comes in there. Okay. So let's all aim for coming back. So we have 3 more hours of afternoon session. And please remember something. Remember your groups, please, because you're going to go back in the same groups for the breakout session in the afternoon, as well as evening between 5 and 6:30.
each of the teams will be given 1.5 hours to synthesize what they learned and come and present over here. So typically the groups, they come up with a skit or something, or some game or something to come and present what they've learned. You have about 10 minutes to present. So remember your groups. Remember that you better learn because you have to come and present on it. Okay? So we're going to have prasadam now. I think the prasadam team is getting it ready. I think they'll bring it. Okay. So what we're going to do now, prasadam will be coming in 5-10 minutes. People want to take a bio break. Please go and take a bio break, and then in the meanwhile they'll start some kirtans as well. If everybody wants to sit here, they can join kirtans. It's up to you, but yes. You have a question? We can answer one question. Okay.
Okay, there is a question.
One final question, and then somebody pick up here. He's already waiting. He's also already waiting. So we'll keep 2 minutes per question.
Yeah,
So Maharaj is saying, if those who want to ask questions can stay back, and others want to take a break, you're more than welcome. But if people want to stay to hear the questions, we're going to continue question answer for Okay, please ask the question. Everybody wants to stay. Okay, fine. Those who want to take a break, please do. Go ahead.
Okay, Maharaj, one of the instructions says that we should be intolerant towards any type of blasphemy towards the Supreme Lord. So, in our family or extended family, or even one of the close relatives, maybe Nirvisheshas or Shunyavadis, so when they talk about things which they may not necessarily mean, but unintentionally they may be blasphemy. So, how should we be responding or act in those types of situations?
Being intolerant towards others who blaspheme Krishna or Vaishnavas. First of all, we should be very careful that we don't commit that. See, we are always very much conscious that others are doing mistake. But before that, we have become conscious that we don't do the mistake. So, being intolerant towards blaspheming Krishna means I should never blaspheme Krishna. That is the first thing. Then, next is the others. Okay. Now, the others, somebody who is totally ignorant or innocent, we have to pardon them because they really don't know who is Krishna or what is God or what are the laws. They have no understanding, they have no idea. They think it's all some kind of belief system. So such people really they don't mean anything against Krishna because they don't even know who is Krishna or what is Krishna. So we have to be tolerant as regards their comments or criticism or their ideas, whatever. And we should try to preach in a nice way, intelligent way, by which you try to educate them, if you can. If you don't have any influence over the person or some passerby says something, you just ignore. So you have to use your intelligence in dealing with situations. And it is more for you to become very, very careful with your own behavior, that you don't blaspheme Krishna. And those whom you are your dependents, It's your responsibility to train up your dependents to not blaspheme Krishna, to educate them about Krishna consciousness. So it also means that you train your dependents as a leader. Parents have got children as dependents. Husband has got wife as dependent. So you train your dependents, educate them so that they don't blaspheme Krishna. That's your responsibility. Now, blasphemy can be done through body, through words, through mind. When I say you have to be careful, generally you will be careful and you will not do generally as a devotee blasphemy through body or words, but blasphemy through the mind. How blasphemy can happen through the mind? You come to the temple and you see the deity decorated. You don't like the particular color of the dress that somebody has put on the deity. It's not your favorite color. Say, what a horrible color this is, I hate yellow. This is very, very offensive. It's very offensive. You may have your likes and dislikes. I'm not telling that you don't have any preferences of color. You can have it. But that doesn't mean, supposing you don't like yellow, it doesn't mean that it's very bad to decorate the deity with yellow color. No. So this is blasphemy. If I don't like yellow and I come to the temple and I see deity having a yellow colored dress, then any negative thought even about that dress, the deity, is an offense. It's an offense. It's blasphemy. So this is where we have to train our mind. So our likes and dislikes had to be tempered, had to be moderated. So where we apply our likes and dislikes is you have to learn to like that which is favorable for Krishna consciousness, and you should learn to dislike that which is unfavorable. This is a training for the mind. And it's very difficult to do that. It's not easy. But begin this from today onwards. You're learning something new. It's not that I am the way I am. I like certain things. No. You can change your likes. You can change your what you dislike. Like before coming to Krishna consciousness, I would dislike eating bitter things. I think it's quite common. Right? You dislike eating something which is very bitter. I have developed a taste for eating bitter things and I relish that. What is the basis? There are 6 tastes and all are relishable. Ayurveda says there are 6 tastes, and for good health, Ayurveda says you must take items which have all the 6 tastes. Your spread on your plate, your variety of things you take for lunch, especially your main meal, should have items which are having, different tastes. Not that I like sweet, I only take sweet. This is not healthy according to Ayurveda. It's not healthy for you. Something bitter has to be there in your plate. Something sour has to be there. Something sweet has to be there. Something pungent has to be there. Something salty has to be there. Something astringent has to be there. So all 6 tastes. So I learned about this. Then I also learned that Krishna is offered different items which are of the 6 tastes. And then further in Ayurveda they say you have to offer it in a sequence. In what sequence do you take if you have multiple items? So every tradition has got a standard sequence of a standard menu. The standard menu means all the 6 days are there, balanced. That's a standard menu. And then it is served in a standard sequence. These are all finer aspects of Krishna consciousness that you have to learn. It's a great science. And it's a great art also. Cooking and serving, offering to the deity. You see, when offering to the deity, you should remember how a mother trains a child to, nicely take food, healthy food, which is nourishing for the body. So the mother will carefully train the child. First it is given baby food. There's no choice, question of choice. What it can digest? First only mother's milk. Then some solid food, annam prashna. Like that gradually the mother trains the child. So formally what was the training? The mother was training the child in coming to the standard of accepting the remnants of prasadam offered to the deity. And what is offered to the deity is all the 6 days of a proper menu. It's a great art. So, coming to your question, blasphemy also involves having the right attitude, avoiding blasphemy, having the right attitude. So likes and dislikes, you can train up what to like and what to dislike by actually understanding what is favorable for Krishna consciousness is what you should like, and what is unfavorable you should learn to dislike. You can train up your mind that way. Lunch is ready? No, I was filling in the time. Right away. Question answers, time filler till we get ready with the arrangement for the lunch, because next activity is lunch.
1 minute question. Yes. Question answer.
Bro, 1 minute question we have here. Multiple people asking from our group. Why is banyan tree considered sacred? Is it 1 minute or no?
She was already waiting.
Okay. Turn on the mic. Turn it on.
Maharaj, you said that when we do the activities with pure heart, that way we can get rid of the reaction of the punya and papa. But obviously we are not pure and we don't have that simple heart. So can we do the activities by pleasing the Krishna? So that way we get rid of.
So how to please Krishna is by following the 64 items.
Okay.
That's why 64 items again.
Thank you.
Banyan tree, there is a high demand from our group.
What is that?
Why is banyan tree considered sacred?
What is banyan tree?
Because it's mentioned as one of those items.
Chapter 11.
And in 10th chapter, Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that he is represented by certain specific forms in this world. Arjuna asked the question, Keshu keshu cha bhaveshu chintyosi bhagavan maya. In what form I can think of you in this material world? So Prabhupada says, our thinking is material. So if we have to become Krishna conscious in our thought, then how do we think of which form we should think? Material form, not spiritual form, material form. Spiritual form comes later.